See, this is why I don't watch every trailer that comes out for every movie that I want to see. A Million Ways to Die in the West. So A Million Ways to Die in the West is another Seth MacFarlane movie. He did Ted, and that was a really funny movie. Seth MacFarlane is the star this time, and he plays this one guy who, he's basically a loser. He lives in the Old West, he really has nothing going for him, his girlfriend just broke up with him, and then he meets Charlize Theron's character, and they have a nice little thing going on. And then Liam Neeson's character comes into town and he says, okay, yeah, someone in this town's gonna die, and it's gonna be Seth MacFarlane. So I saw the first trailer for this movie, and I said to myself, okay, this looks like a really funny movie. And then I saw the second trailer for this movie, and I said, yeah, that looks like a funny movie. Then I went into the movie, and I came out saying, that was a funny movie. The main complaint that I'm hearing about this movie is that they showed way too much in the trailers. I've kind of started doing this thing within the last year or so where I only watch like the first 2 trailers for each movie that comes out. Then I can go into the movie hopefully with not a lot of it spoiled for me. Like take X-Men Days of Futures Past for example. I didn't watch the 3rd trailer and then I watched it after I showed the movie and it showed so much. I'm so glad I didn't see that trailer. It showed Quicksilver doing his thing around the Pentagon and all of that, and Quicksilver was one of my favorite parts of the movie. So I'm glad I didn't have that spoiled for me. And I did have some stuff spoiled for me in A Million Ways to Die in the West. A lot of the funny parts, yeah, are shown in the trailers, but there's still, I think there was still enough for me to where I could still enjoy it even though I saw those 2 trailers. I think the cast in the movie did a pretty good job. Most of them had really good comedic timing. I really liked Neil Patrick Harris's character, the dude with the mustache. He had this one song in the middle of the movie that actually had me laughing pretty hard. It was great. And one thing that did stand out in this movie to me actually wasn't so much the comedy, it was the music behind the comedy. It has that really late 1800s American Western type musical feel to it. Stuff that you'd hear in, you know, like Rango, Back to the Future Part 3, Red Dead Redemption. So that was a nice surprise. I wasn't looking for a great musical score from this movie, especially because it's a comedy, but I did really like it and it was pretty awesome. One thing that really stuck out for me in this movie was that the direction was really unfocused. Like last year when The Lone Ranger came out, I was saying the same exact thing. Sometimes it felt like it wanted to be a fun action movie, sometimes it felt like it wanted to be a dark, serious movie. This movie has that same thing. I mean, yeah, it's rated R so they can do those darker scenes. But a lot of scenes, especially with Liam Neeson's character, you're like, dude, this is a dark guy. You don't want to mess with this guy. And then you have Seth MacFarlane's character right after that who's cracking all these jokes. Sometimes like in the middle of serious action scenes, it'll go from, you know, being serious to being really funny right after that, which could work in a movie if they actually could pull it off, but it just wasn't pulled off very well in this movie. The movie is also a little long. It's almost 2 hours actually. Near the end of the movie, there is a segment that they show in the trailer which actually could have been cut from the movie. You'll know it when you see it, but that whole scene scenario just didn't really need to be there. Maybe in like an extended cut Blu-ray feature or something like that it could have been there. But if they would have cut that down, the movie would have been a more manageable size and I probably would have liked it a little bit more. So some funny jokes, some weird direction, it was a little long. Overall, for me, I don't think A Million Ways to Die in the West is nearly as bad as people are saying it is. Probably because I didn't watch all the trailers, so I did go in with a little bit of curiosity. I don't know if I can fully recommend that you go out and see this movie because you still have Neighbors and I'm hoping 22 Jump Street is good too, so you have those comedies in theaters already. But as its own movie, I did enjoy A Million Ways to Die in the West enough to give it a positive review. I'm gonna give A Million Ways to Die in the West a B-. It was slightly disappointing. I wanted it to be a little bit better than it was. But it was a comedy that made me laugh and I had fun with it, so I'm fine with that. So A Million Ways to Die in the West, what did you guys think about it? Whatever you thought of this movie, comment down below and post your thoughts. And thanks for watching this video. If you guys like it, then you can click here to see more.